Phantom Shogun's Grove has just been added to Raid Shadow Legends. Is it worth it? Is it not? Well, spoiler alert, it's not worth it for the 99% of players out there. We're gonna dive into why this is, and of course a tier list of every single one of the content areas currently in Raid Shadow Legends. Hey guys, coldbrew here. Welcome back to another video, right? Today we're talking Phantom Shogun's Grove. I know, I had the spoiler alert in the beginning where Phantom Shogun's Grove, in my opinion, is not worth it for the majority of players. And I even have a team that can farm it in around 30 seconds, 45 seconds, which is relatively fast for one of the hardest contents in the game in terms of requirements, speed requirements. Champions in this team are built with 350 speed, right? We're talking a very difficult content. 600 accuracy is required, high damage, high defensive stats. This is one of the last things that you need to worry about in Raid Shadow Legends. Honestly, the reward is not worth the effort for the majority of players. That's why I just consider it as not a big part of the game. Not even comparing it to the Sand Devil. Honestly, Sand Devil is way better than Phantom Shogun's Grove in terms of what you get out of what you give in terms of energy. If you compare the two, you give in your energy, you get some of the oils and the extracts in the grove, right? And both ascend your gear. You ascend the artifacts in the Sand Devil, you ascend your accessories in the Phantom's Grove. Both provide some sort of utility, but the effect that has is not the same, right? You need about the same energy to farm both, in terms of, on average, the rewards that you're going to get back in terms of upgrading each of your items being either an artifact or an accessory, right? So I'll give you an example. This is my Rotos, the Lost Groom. He has crit damage gloves with crit damage booster. He gained a solid 20% to his crit damage just because of that added, ascension, right? The 6-star ascension. On the chest piece, he got an extra 20% attack. That is huge in terms of damage potential, and he could even get some more through his boots, and of course his weapon, he could get some extra attack. What would be the next best thing? Well, ascending his accessories. The accessories don't have that exact effect in terms of the power that they give back for what you are spending, right? Let's say you need about 1,000 energy, it might be 800 to 1,000 to get one of the accessories fully ascended. Well, then the difficult part comes in. Are you going to be lucky enough to have your good accessories ascended or not? Usually accessories are one of the hardest ones to get in terms of finding the right faction and then getting the good rolls on it, right? So it becomes a mad race of RNG in terms of getting what you need. And I got lucky enough on my Ecclesia, right? It's only been out for a couple of days, so I farmed it. I farmed a few of the extracts and I got the crit damage roll. Look at the difference now. 12% crit damage roll there for the amulet. Comparing it to, let's say, the gloves, it would be a boosted 20%. So I would say Sand Devil is worth the effort of building a team compared to the Phantom's Grove, which doesn't wrap up the video, since boom, let's go back to our good tier list that I've made some time ago, right? Can't remember exactly when I made the video on this, but I'll give you guys a wrap up summary of what I showed. So the game has different content areas. We have, for example, the clan boss, the Doom Tower, faction wars. We have the here the dungeons, the Minotaur, the campaign. We have the Hydra, missions, arena, classic arena. That is potion keeps, Iron Twins, Sand Devils. This is empty, but that is the challenges. Live arena here and the tag arena here. So all of these I ranked in terms of both the usefulness and replayability, but also the overall effect they have on an account, right? So I give the S tier for clan boss and the most important part of the game, since that gives insane rewards. You build up your team, it takes effort, it is rewarding for that effort that you put in, and it's one of the best things that you can do at the beginning of any account out there. So building the clan boss team feels great. Once you have that team ready to go for Ultra Nightmare, you start getting those big rewards, you feel like you're on the top of the world in terms of raid, right? Doom Tower, same thing, but in a different way, because you are farming it. And once you've made your teams for the Doom Tower, you're ready to go. You can actually repeat farm the bosses and get free gear without spending energy. This feels very rewarding once you set everything up, and especially climbing the Doom Tower gives you some free rewards. There's shards, there's books every month. It's a content that is challenging, and there's 3 different rotations, so there's a lot of things to explore in terms of team building and boss fights. And then we have Faction Wars, which is similar in terms of building Faction Wars teams for every faction. And we even have factions coming in with the Shadowkin and the Sylvan Watchers as more recent additions compared to, let's say, the Dwarves, which was 2019, right? And then we go down the list in terms of dungeons. They are replayable, they are rewarding, but it is a lot of energy. Minotaur, it is replayable and it is very rewarding in terms of giving power to your heroes. Campaign is very solid in terms of rewards. It's not replayable in that sense that you feel good about it, but it is worth it because you are able to not only farm XP, but you are able to also farm some very good gear, especially at the very first month of any account out there. Farming the boots, as an example, at any stage 6 gives you like a big boost to your account in terms of the speed bonuses, right? Then we have the Hydra, which is free gear, and honestly, I will be changing Hydra maybe to the A tier, just because of they'll introduce very soon the added 3 different accessory tiers when the Hydra Clash, whatever it's called, comes into the game. That will be another big part because of the stone skin. You'll be able to equip 4-piece stone skin and then another 4-piece set through accessories through that, and that will be huge for the game. I believe so. I'll bring it back to the A tier, but not as easy at all compared to all the other parts of the content that we see here. Missions are also great. They give you Arbiter and Ramantu, but they are difficult, and some of them feel frustrating, and they are finite. So once the missions are over, you can never do them again. So if Raid added some more missions, maybe I could bump it up a tier or so. Maybe campaign I can actually drop here, maybe to the B tier, because it becomes boring once you've been through and made you're a farmer. You're pretty much, there's nothing else left to do. You pretty much do Nightmare campaign maybe, and you're good to go. Potion keeps, I'll probably drop to the C tier because they become easy very quickly for any account out there, and I don't think they deserve to be like in a B tier, comparing it to Classic Arena, where there is meta changes and you see different teams not so often, but you do see them rise up. So there is some replayability other than, you know, just farming the 1-person teams. There's some teams that can be challenging and might make you think and reconsider maybe using a different team setup than your classic team setup that you always go against, you know, your Classic Arena farming team, right? So you might see a team and think, oh, I'll use this instead of that to beat that team. So on the C tier, I had Iron Twins, Sand Devil, the Challenges, and Live Arena. Live Arena, although I want to bump it up at the moment, they still haven't implemented any changes or mentioned specifically any changes coming to it. So I think it's going to stay there. Maybe it's a little bit higher than Challenges here, which is empty. Maybe I'll update this picture. But I still think that Sand Devil, Iron Twins are kind of C tier in terms of they require too much energy for what they need. I think they should have halved the energy needed, and especially for Iron Twins Fortress, they should have either completely removed the refresh cost and maybe had it as a free refresh, or just have us have 12 keys. Honestly, that's not a lot every day. The energy requirements really mess up the newer players who might want to consider that as some sort of content. As they progress into the late game, they see that, but still the requirement for energy is huge in there every single day, and the gem requirement also widens the gap extremely from spenders and non-spenders, because you cannot consistently get 150 gems in the game every day. Maybe you can get up to 60, I would say 60 gems a day, but not 150 as free to play. And then finally we had Tag Team Arena. That is not changing, and Tag Team Arena will still be the worst part of the game. I think that Phantom Shogun's Grove is relatively an easy dungeon compared to anything else we had so far. I don't think it's a very challenging dungeon. Maybe in terms of the requirements for accuracy and speeds, yes. But anything else, I don't think it's it's one that you should really worry about. And it goes to the D tier for the sole reason that I explained at the start of the video, where your energy to rewards ratio is much lower to anything else in the game currently, even than Sand Devil. I would say spend 1,000 energy on Sand Devil if you have the choice between the two, because not only there's a lot of RNG for both, but the potential upgrade that you can get, like on speed boots, extra speed on speed boots is huge. Extra crit damage on crit damage gloves, or crit rate even, is again huge. And the chest pieces you can get, let's say attack percent or HP percent, which is again much more beneficial than just a flat number to your HP or defense value, or even accuracy and resistance, where even though it's good to eventually get like 30 extra accuracy, 30 extra resistance, it's not as impactful and it's not as easy to get, all right, comparing it to everything else. So this is the tier list, guys. I don't think I'll be changing it soon. What you think about it, by the way, with me placing Phantom Shogun a little bit above Tag Arena. I think Tag Arena is the worst part of the game by far. I don't think Phantom Shogun's Grove is the worst in terms of, you know, like a challenge. You just go in, you fight. It could be in the C tier, but you have too many things here in the C tier. The challenges, we could have had more challenges. That's why it's in the C tier, by the way. The Phantom Shogun's Grove is just, it's the fact that it requires a lot of energy for very little reward, and it is a very high challenging dungeon in the sense of, you know, what kind of stats you need. So this was the video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Definitely do not go and farm Phantom Shogun, especially if you're a new player. If you're an end game player, you won't even be seeing this video. So I always have that in mind when I make the videos. So I make them for the general, you know, public that actually plays Raid and enjoys the content side of YouTube as well. So this was the video, guys. Thank you all. I will see you in the next one. See ya.